Hello, my lovely students. A very good evening to all of you. I hope you all are doing very fine. Welcome to Akash Baiju's NEET channel, class of botany. I am Pankhuri ma'am, your botany teacher. It's a beautiful evening to learn something new today. So let's settle down fast. Keep our pens and notebooks ready because a lot of important questions. In fact, any probable question in your upcoming NEET exam, whether you're going to sit for your exam in 22, 23, whatever exam, all the questions you're going to get in this class today. All we need is that you're regular to the classes, you don't miss for the sake of consistency in your preparation, the connectivity of topics. And when I say this is a previous year question, this is examiner's favorite question, it is better to note it down. Yeah, we don't want to give them a chance to get us stuck anywhere in any question or go for negative marking. Yes, that's what we are here for. In the last class, my lovely children, we started the chapter of morphology of angiosperms, which I say it is the very foundation of botany. Because in these 2 years, botany is the study of plants, aap sabko pata hai. In these 2 years, the syllabus is about, your entire botany covers more about the angiosperms or the flowering plants. And animal kingdom deals about the human beings. Both are the most evolved and advanced species of both the kingdoms. और मैंने ये भी बताया था what it actually means when we say that this species is most advanced. Yeah, all of you who attended last class, very well done. Congratulations for being regular. Be regular, then any subject, any topic is not going to remain difficult for you. Okay, hi everybody, settle down. Nasir, I can see Nasir. I can see somebody with the name Buddy, very interesting names. I can see Suraj, welcome to the class. Bilkul Suraj, it will be a bilingual class, but बच्चे the subject and the terms in biology, देखो biology is a subject of lot of terminologies, yeah? तो वो terminologies आपको थोड़ा सा और effort डालकर, थोड़ी और मेहनत करके आपको English में ही learn करनी पड़ेंगी. The only way to do it is revision. Okay? Vikas, welcome to the class. Harsh Anand, hi, very good evening. Please settle down और pens ready रखना, हाँ? We don't want to miss any important points. हम सोचते हैं कि बाद में कर लेंगे, but that never happens. बाद आता नहीं है. Let's do it. Let's secure our probable MCQs. Ashish, Naira, Shubham, Vineet, good evening, very good evening. तो start करते हैं. Last class में we started, we categorically divided. We said that a flowering plant consists of the underground root system and the aerial shoot system. ठीक है? And then we also saw that a flowering plant consists of vegetative organs and reproductive organs. Vegetative organs do not take part in reproduction, as simple as that. And what are those? Root, stem and leaves. They form the basic body of the plant. Okay? And do very, very important functions. जैसे leaves photosynthesis करते हैं. Root का primary function, I told you, 2 A's of morphology. Yeah, anchorage and absorption of water and minerals. I'm still waiting for people to settle down and revising what we did in the last class. Okay? उसके बाद stem performs a very important function. You know what I call stem? मैं stem को बोलती हूँ mother axis of the plant. ये वो pillar है. This central mother axis supports all other organs. Yes, and this is the aerial portion of the plant that we get to see above the ground. With me on this. If stem is not there, whatever minerals and water are absorbed by the roots, they can't be conducted to other parts of the plant. Right? So very important function of the stem or the mother axis is the conduction of absorbed minerals, whatever root is doing. So it's like a pipeline. Okay? Conducting pipe. दूसरा important function है that it is the stem which is supporting other organs so that they can perform their assigned functions. अगर stem नहीं होगी तो where will leaf be? And if leaf is not present, who will do the photosynthesis? Agreed? Yes. And then it supports flowers also. It supports fruits also. तो plant का पूरा life cycle जैसे जैसे चलता है, all the parts, all the organs which are needed are supported by the mother axis. Do you all agree? This was very simple. Yeah. Now what you see in front of you here, it's a green cylindrical stem. उस पर fruits भी हैं, flowers भी हैं. लेकिन ध्यान रखिए that a young stem is green. Okay? Pay attention, children. Young stem is green in color. But as the plant ages, the stem could get thicker and definitely it becomes woody and brown. So don't think it is green, it's going to take a major part in photosynthesis. No. Good. Now, what is the difference between stem and shoot? Stem is just the axis. Okay, stem is just the axis. See children, when I say that this chapter is about laying a foundation of your botany practice, जब आप class 12th में जाओगे, whatever you study about reproduction in plants and asexual and sexual, both kinds of reproduction, when you study photosynthesis, when you study mineral nutrition, the entire plant physiology, you don't want that to be cloudy, do you? Do you want your upcoming botany chapters to be, half understood? No, none of us want that. So when I say laying the foundation in this chapter, you have to be very clear about the basics of botany. That what is the difference between a stem and a shoot? Shoot is the stem with the leaves. And because it is supporting so many organs, it is only better to call it as the shoot system. What you see here, shoot system. That is, it has the lateral appendages on it. Good. Now, जैसे हमने root के लिए basic characters discuss किए थे, whenever we try to understand an organ, when we try to understand the root, सबसे पहले हमने discuss किया था what is the origin of root. Root आती कहाँ से है? So when you sow the seed, मैंने आपको example दिया था that when our mothers sprout the seeds, the pulses, तो white outgrowth, जो descending outgrowth होती है seed की, descending मतलब जो नीचे जा रही है, that outgrowth is the radicle. And radicle gives rise to the root. Everybody remembers that? Yeah? अब इसी seed में एक ascending outgrowth होती है, that is called plumule. So the origin of the stem, my children, is plumule. Stem arises from the plumule of the embryo. Yeah? So later on in this chapter, when I teach you the structure of the seed, the embryonal axis, we'll come across terms like epicotyle, hypocotyle. और कुछ लोगों को ये already पता भी होगा. You've studied this. Epicotyle is the upper part of the embryonal axis, which forms the plumule, and plumule forms the stem portion of the plant. Right now, if you don't know that, just remember stem arises from the plumule. And root is the descending portion. How did we define root? We did not mug it up, not some bookish definition. We know it is the descending portion of the plant. It is the underground portion of the plant. It is the non-green portion of the plant. Okay, so stem is the ascending portion of the plant. Okay, and other features would be it is positively phototropic. Do you all agree? Are we good with this? Tropism का मतलब होता है, tropism का मतलब होता है towards. Okay. Is it changing now? 1 minute, children. Okay. Children, do you see the structure, the seed here? Yes, Arbaz, the lectures are sufficient for your NEET exam 2022. I assure you. We are dividing every chapter into small subtopics so that, we don't hurry you or make it difficult for you to learn. A very good evening. Children, we are just solving a tech glitch here. Okay, we are back. Children, there was some tech glitch. All the slides are here. Yeah, I'll repeat everything. You can see me now. You can hear me now. I'm not going anywhere without teaching you the modifications of STEM. Rajkumar, Arbaz, Aditya. Now you can see Naira. Beautiful name, by the way. What will happen on what I'm writing on the slides. ठीक है. So अभी तक I just taught you that now you can see that it is a green colored stem right in front of you. And rest you heard me, right? That it's the mother axis and it supports all other organs. If stem is not there, why I call it the mother axis? Because it takes care, it holds all the other parts of the plant on it. Agreed? So you can see now that there are leaves, there are flowers, there are fruits, everything is supported at the right position for the flower to take part in reproduction, for the leaves to take part in photosynthesis by the mother axis. Okay? Now, this young stem is green in color, lekin as the plant ages, the stem will change its color, it will turn brownish, it will turn woody. Increase in, maybe if it is a dicot plant, it will increase in girth also, that is thickness. Then I told you, we started discussing the stem. And the first thing we discuss when we try to understand an organ is its origin. तो जैसे root arise होता है radical of the seed से, which is a descending outgrowth, as you can see, stem arises from the ascending outgrowth of the seed. और उसको क्या बोलते हैं? All of you said it. I'm reading all the comments. It arises from the plumule of the embryo. Can you see that? So if I have to define the stem, it is the aerial. The first feature, the first diagnostic feature of the stem is, it is the aerial part of the plant. Yeah, you tell where the part is present. And it is the ascending organ of the plant. Yeah, which is positively phototropic. What do I mean by positively phototropic? Tropism per se means towards. That is, unlike root, it grows towards the light. All agree with me? Yes? And it goes against the gravity and water. Okay? So it is negatively geotropic and negatively hydrotropic. This is different from the root. Good? Now, the next thing. What are the characteristic features of the stem? In taproot, we studied there is a primary root, then fibrous root is a bunch of equal sized roots, then adventitious roots develops from the base of the stem. How will you identify that a stem is stem? Yeah? Well, it is the presence of specific points on the stem. Listen to this carefully. Okay? Which are called as nodes. And nodes are very, very important very important regions on the stem for everything. You know why? Because nodes are the points where leaves will arise. Good? Nodes are the points where leaves will arise. And in this angle between the leaf and the stem, can you appreciate the angle between the leaf and the stem? This is the stem, this is the leaf arising on the stem. This angle has a very important lateral or axillary bud, which will give rise to new branches of the stem, which will form practically everything. Okay, if a new leaf wants to grow, axillary bud, lateral axillary bud. If a new branch of the stem wants to grow, it is through axillary bud. Bud is nothing but a collection of cells. They can form any structure. And the stem grows longitudinally, that is in the height, with the help of an apical bud here. Apex का मतलब क्या होता है? Yeah, it is the terminal point, the starting point in this case. So यहाँ पर जैसे root apex था, there was presence of root cap. All of us remember? Yeah. So here you have the terminal or apical bud, but this bud is going to cause growth in the longitudinal direction, elongation of the stem. Good? With me on this? Now, जितना internode का distance ज़्यादा होगा, what is internode? It is the distance between two nodes. Longer the internode is, longer will be the stem. Okay? If I talk about grasses, वहाँ पे internode length बहुत कम है. Okay? Good? Chalo, let's go further to again remind ourselves categorically the functions of stem. Like I said, jitna bhi water and minerals root absorb karegi soil se, that will be conducted. So conduction is the key word here. Supporting other parts of the plant. Support is another key word here. And whatever food leaf will make, all of us know leaf by the process of photosynthesis generates food. That is also conducted with the help of stem. And well, like I told you, if stem is not there, nodes and internodes are not there, the growth of the plant, the completion of the life cycle itself won't happen. Now, we come directly to stem modifications. So, today we are not like in root, where before root modifications I taught you the zones in a root, the types of root, but in stem, what holds a lot of importance is how stem gets modified. अब मुझे कौन बताएगा in the chat? Let's talk the subject and not with each other. Why the stem will get modified? What is the need of getting modified? You can answer in one word, one sentence, not more than that. Why will a vegetative, remember why the roots got modified? What is the purpose of modification that happens in the vegetative organs of the plant? In the next class, we'll study leaf modifications as well. Devanshu is saying for protection. Vanessa is saying for us to get food. Okay. Anything else? See, Vanessa, I'll tell you. When the plant part gets modified, the plant is not thinking about giving us food. We have utilized them in that way. The purpose of modification, there's one word. Why would they store food, Ashish? Very good, Avik. That is for support. That is one of the functions. See, there's one word, adaptation. Okay? Any species, last class mein maine bataya tha, any species living on this planet has to tune themselves to their physical environment. If it is 0 degrees outside, you need a warmer. It's the same example I gave in the last class. Yeah? So similarly, plant organs get modified so that the plant can live nicely, reproduce, thrive, grow in the environmental conditions however they are. So based on the conditions and based on the need of the plant, plant parts will get modified. Simple reason is adaptation. Adaptation is a very, very important mechanism of living species. Otherwise, they'll go extinct. They'll die. Okay? So what if the conditions are dry? The plant part will have to get modified. Okay? Like if the soil is too saline, the roots got modified. Pneumatophores. Modification means there is tweaking, there is manipulation of the structural and functional aspects of the plant. They go together. That is morphology and physiology. Or anatomy is also possible. Internal structure is also possible. Now, when we talk about stem modifications, they are more diverse than the root modifications. When I say they are more diverse than root modifications, questions aane ke chances bhi zyada hain. Stem modifications is one topic that the examiner loves to pick a question from. With me on this. Yeah. So now stems are very smart. They have to be. They are the mother axis. They have to take care of everybody else. They decided to modify themselves below the ground. As you can see, the 3 categories. Partially below the ground, partially above the ground. That's so smart. And the third modification is happening in the aerial stem, that is in the air, main stem only. Very important. Keep writing when I tell you it's an important question. Talking about underground modifications first. Now, underground modifications, and I tell you, modifications of stem is a portion which is given very differently in different books. Of course, we'll follow mostly the NCERT textbook because that is the standard textbook accepted in the NEET exam. The answers will be according, the correct answer will be according to that. Okay, so I'm giving you the examples as they are in your syllabus. underground modification of stem happens for the biggest purpose. What is one purpose that the plant wants to accomplish with the help of modification? Plant हमेशा food store करता है because the plant knows that if conditions turn adverse, अगर unfavorable conditions हैं, enough sunlight नहीं है, enough water नहीं है, temperature बहुत high है, what is going to get compromised? What is going to get affected? It is the photosynthesis. तो कम से कम मैं खाना extra कहीं पे बना के रखूंगा. So underground stems are the fleshy stems. What are they? Fleshy stems. And the keywords for underground stems, zahir si baat hai, they are getting modified below the ground, is that they are for the purpose of perennation. Vanessa, bachche, as they get modified for the purpose of perennation, they become a source of food for us. But plant kya koshish kar raha hai? That in adverse conditions, when the aerial parts of the plant can't grow and the plant almost dies aerially, the underground stem keeps the plant alive and the plant comes back to life when the conditions are favorable. तो ऊपर से आपको aerially लगेगा कि plant मर चुका है, but as the conditions turn favorable, this plant will come back to life again. How? Because there is food stored underground that will give the energy. Perennation word is from perish. So the plant doesn't perish because of the underground stems. Second thing, a very fair question that can be asked from this is, how will you distinguish underground stem from a root? अब जमीन के नीचे आपने खोदा, जमीन को खोदा तो आपको root भी दिख रही है और stem भी दिख रहा है. How will you distinguish? बोलो, how will you distinguish? Well, the first point is the stem will have specific points called nodes and internodes. What happens at the nodes, children? Leaves come out. Leaves come out at the node. So in underground stem also there will be leaves. But these won't be the green leaves as you see in the aerial stems. They are the paper thin, very, very small leaves. Very rusty leaves. Okay? Yeah, fleshy stems. Yes, Ashish, it is fleshy stems. So these leaves have been given a special term called scaly leaves because they are like small scales. So underground stem mein you will have nodes, you will have internodes, you will have scaly leaves, and from the node portion you will also see adventitious roots. Now, you know what? The best way to study botany is in the kitchen. If you can, get a potato, get a ginger, and that's the best way to understand stem modifications. Trust me on that. So, if you get ginger, you will see small thread-like structures coming out of ginger from specific points. Those are adventitious roots. Okay, so this is how you distinguish an underground stem from a root. Now when this stem stores food, it assumes a shape. Based on the shape, root में भी ऐसे ही किया था, based on the shape and the pattern of growth, these are the examples. The first one, we'll take one by one, they're extremely important. The first one is the ginger, adrak. Adrak, the first word for rhizome is, it's a horizontal modification. So if this is the, let's say if this is the aerial stem, underground aerial stem will modify itself into this branched horizontal, it will not assume a definite shape. Or is elongated, one keyword, horizontal modification को बोलते हैं rhizome. Now, if you look closely at adrak, you will see some faint lines. Yeah, it will be very good if you can bring it from the kitchen. Or maybe you can see after the class. So those are nodes. And you will see from those nodes, there will be thin fiber-like roots, adventitious roots coming out. And from you will not be able to appreciate the scaly leaves. They will be brushed off by the time it reaches the home. Okay, and from the node region, a new stem can come out. Okay, now coming to tuber. Before tuber, I would like to take corm. Comparing it with rhizome, corm is rhizome horizontal था, इस तरह से grow कर रहा था. Corm is vertical. Okay, so it is vertically standing in the soil. So the keyword for rhizome was horizontal. What do you think is the keyword for corm? It's a vertical modification. And you can easily see it in Arbi, in Colocasia, in Zameen Kand. Very important example. You can write it down. Also called as Amorphophallus. And the classic example of rhizome is not only ginger. Ginger is just one example. There is haldi, which is turmeric. Not the powder. If you see the raw turmeric, it absolutely looks like ginger. Even the nodes are clearer. Okay? And then we move on to corm. Two examples of corm is Zameen Kand and Colocasia. Next we move on to tuber. Favorite question of the examiner. What is a tuber? I told you in the last class that whenever the term tuber comes, कौन मुझे बताएगा what is the meaning of the term tuberous or tuber in botany? Come on people. Basics. Absolute basics. And people, when it comes to examples of modification, I would tell you stick to your textbook examples. You don't have to go beyond that. It will only be difficult for you to learn all of them later. So if I talk about storage stem, okay. So if I talk about the tuber or the potato, right? It is a stem modification. पिछली क्लास में कुछ लोग sweet potato के साथ confuse कर रहे थे, but both are tubers. Tuber means no definite shape. Whenever the term tuber comes in front of you, मतलब कोई definite shape नहीं है. आलू की कोई definite shape नहीं होती है. And same is with sweet potato. Sweet potato is an adventitious root modification. Potato is a stem modification. Please mark it. Don't get confused. That is where the examiner will catch hold of you. Okay? Now, my favorite question from tuber is, pick up. Kitchen में जाकर आलू देखो. On the surface of आलू is never plain. It has black dots or depressions. Those are called eyes of potato. Okay? Those are called eyes of potato. And what do they represent? They represent the mighty axillary bud or the lateral bud. This axillary bud, उस depression में से, वो जो eyes हैं, उन depression में से, you will see a stem coming out, a structure coming out. If you notice it in your kitchen. Yeah? So that is axillary bud growing into a new plant. And that is why, that is how potato is used as, underground tuber is used as a method of vegetative propagation. People are able to grow potatoes very fast because of this. Are you with me? Yes, Solanum tuberosum. Classic example. Now we go on to the fourth modification, which is the bulb. So now you enter into the kitchen, but you are not entering without awareness. You are entering knowing what is happening. What is this plant? Do this exercise and you'll never forget it. So now you pick up an onion. What is the shape of the onion? It looks like a bulb. And the best part of onion is that it is an underground stem, but actually we are not eating the stem. The lower portion of the onion, which we remove, which we specifically remove when we peel the onion, जो आप फेंक देते हो, that is the reduced disc-like stem. And you see many threads coming out of the base. Those are adventitious buds. Isn't it so amazing, so easy to understand? Yeah? And then if the stem is reduced, then what are we eating? The question that can be asked is, what is the edible portion of onion? Or for that matter, garlic as well. Garlic and onion both belong to the genus Allium. Yeah? Well, even garlic is bulb shaped. Yeah? We are eating, or the edible portion of onion, very important question, are scaly leaves. The pungent portion, which is used so extensively while cooking food, are the fleshy, scaly leaves. Onion mein, those are present as concentric circles. Okay? Or onion ke bahar, that purple colored covering, which we peel off, very thin, papery covering, is called tunic. Hence, onion is also called as a tunicated bulb. It is also called, oh, it's written here, it's also called as the tunicated bulb. So what is the fashion of arrangement of scaly leaves? It is, they are present in concentric circles. Okay, agar मैं garlic की बात करूं, it is, the fleshy region is scaly leaf, but they are present in forms of cloves. Every clove of garlic is the scaly leaf which is storing food. Okay, makes sense to everybody? So these are very easy underground stem modifications that you can easily appreciate in your kitchen. And then never forget. Once you do that, you will never forget it. Cool. Now, next is the subaerial modification. Subaerial modification, as the name suggests, it is half aerial, half underground. Now, they are very interesting and confusing. Okay, so we are going to make them extremely easy for you today. Don't refer to any sources other than here what I'm teaching you in the class or NCERT textbook. NCERT is a little confusing. It is not giving the names of subaerial modifications. It is only giving examples. Examiner will pick up anything that you might not do precisely. So please write down the examples of subaerial modifications, and if you'll open 3 different books, the examples will be different, the classification will be different. And don't even think about Googling this. Okay, so subaerial modification में सबसे पहला हम करेंगे runner. When AIIMS exam used to happen, this was their favorite assertion reason question कि lawn grass or cynodon. Yeah, lawn grass or cynodon इतनी जल्दी क्यों फैल जाती है? When a gardener plants it in one region of the garden, within a week or so, it spreads in the entire area. Because in lawn grass, the modification of the stem is runner. And as the name suggests, the stem runs very fast. How? Well, the aerial stem, okay, let's say this is the soil, this is the ground, okay. The aerial stem is going to give a prostrate branch, prostrate or creeping branch. It is not going to be upright. It is just lying down on the soil and running and creeping like a snake. And after some distance, तो आप देखो ये distance उसने cover किया grass ने, yeah? It gives rise to a new aerial stem, and then it runs for some distance. And actually there will be a lot of such branches coming out, and that is why strawberry and lawn grass or cynodon grows very quickly, because they are runners. Also from the node region, what will come out? A tuft of adventitious roots. A tuft means a bunch. With me on this, a tuft of adventitious roots will come out. So, you know, these adventitious roots are binding the grass to the soil. Understood? These 2 examples are very important. Now, strawberry is a runner, according to your NCERT textbook. Don't get confused. You will find textbooks where strawberry has been written as stolon and whatnot. It's a runner. It grows. These plants, see, I'll tell you, the motive of underground modification was storage of food. If I talk about motive of the plant's motive of subaerial modification, it is to grow very, very fast. There's no need of sexual reproduction here, which is more complex and would take more time. Okay. Now, next modification is stolon. I personally call stolon as the arched runner. Or if this is too complex, my favorite term for stolon is moon shape. Sorry, half moon shape. Half moon shape. अब इसमें क्या होता है? What happens in stolon is, if this is your aerial stem, children, now the branch is not going to creep like a snake on the ground. It's not running. It is rather jumping on the ground. How? See, it will give a branch that will arch. Have a careful look. That will arch, make a half moon shaped structure. Let's say this is your soil surface. Okay? Now it's going to make a half moon shaped structure. There it goes. And as the tip of the half moon shaped structure or the arch stem touches the ground, it will give rise to a new aerial stem. Are we good here? Yeah, so let's say this tip touches the ground, it will give rise to a new aerial stem. So this stem is rather jumping. That is the best way to remember. Classic example according to your textbook, once again, of stolon is mint, mentha. Please do not change the example. Actually, mint is a little confusing. Okay, some authors believe mint is a sucker. Some authors believe it's a runner. Mint, they have not left any modification, and that is possible. In truth, plants में कोई भी modification हो सकती है. There is no stamp put on the plant. But the example which we are going to focus on for your syllabus, the first priority if the question comes is, don't get confused, it is going to be stolon in mint. And another example is jasmine. Can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah? Now we move on to the third modification, which is offset. This is one of my favorite questions. You know why? Because it's very, very specific. Well, the first precise point of offset is, it is, how would I make it easy for you? It's an aquatic, very small runner. Yeah, if you want to make it, because this can be confusing. So offset is aquatic, small runner. तो ये plants पानी में है. Okay, these plants are not growing on the soil, they're growing in water. So now the aerial stem will give a small branch, very small, 1 internode length. 1 internode length runners sort of. And after 1 internode length, what is 1 internode? The distance between just 2 nodes. It will grow into a new plant. The story doesn't finish here. Modification का नाम है offset. Oh, I love this. Well, this new plant is going to set off from the parent plant. तो इससे क्या हुआ? If it is setting off from the parent plant, it can go to any location. It is going to spread very, very fast. And that is why Eichhornia is the most invasive aquatic weed. That is also another question. The most invasive aquatic weed is Eichhornia. And you know, it covers the entire pond. Although it has beautiful flowers, देखने में लगता है, wow, such pink, red, beautiful pond. It's very good for the sight. But actually Eichhornia is killing everybody else in the pond. Because it grows so fast, it uses up all the minerals, all the oxygen. And that is why another name of Eichhornia, another question for you is Terror of Bengal. Terror of Bengal. The fishes will die, other plants will die because of this weed. Okay, now one more thing, as you can notice on the screen, is plant is in a rosette pattern. What is rosette pattern? Now that is also a basic of botany. Well, when the plants grow more transversely, more laterally, they're not elongated structures. जैसे पत्ता गोभी होती है. Okay, so if you come across the term rosette, remember me. So offset is a feature of rosette plants. For example, pistia. Pistia का common name ही है water lettuce. and Eichhornia is, water hyacinth. Yes, Vanessa, very good way to remember. You can derive it from the rose, the word rose. Good. Vanessa, the better way so that बाकी लोगों का time ना waste हो is to watch it again. And I want you to watch it again, because when you watch it again later, it will serve as a revision for you. यहाँ तक सबको clear है? Yeah. So are you able to pick the questions that the examiner can ask from you in every topic? Are we able to write it down? Offset is only 1 internode length. Aquatic plants sets off from the parent plant and grows in the entire location, entire area. And the examples. Now, Bacha, I'm not giving you any extra examples. They are very much your probable questions in NEET exam. Now the next modification is sucker. How do I make it easy? Sucker. Now what I'm telling you are just ways to remember. Don't write it in your exam. Okay? In the exam you have to explain the aerial stem grows below the ground and gives a horizontal branch, which after some distance gives rise to a new aerial stem. But just to make it easy for you guys, you can remember it's an underground runner. Just making it easy for you, huh? Don't write it. Your teacher will not give you the marks for that. So it is an underground runner. Ma'am, फिर तो ये underground modification होनी चाहिए. नहीं. It is giving rise to the aerial stem ultimately. It will run for some distance. तो हुआ क्या? Runner was creeping, snake की तरह. It was creeping at the soil surface, यहाँ पर. But sucker is below the ground. Is it easy for you now? Yeah, we are finding it easy. The classic examples of sucker are pineapple, number 1. Chrysanthemum, number 2. Okay, and the third one, I'm forgetting it. Pineapple, chrysanthemum, banana. Yes, it is banana. Now the thing with banana is, in many textbooks, and if you try to Google this stuff, never ever Google if you're preparing for NEET. If you just want to acquire some facts in broken parts, then you can Google your syllabus. But don't Google something so important for your exam, especially when it comes to modifications. Because botanists and researchers and different authors have discovered different things. Now, some authors believe that banana is a rhizome. So what do? Well, you can't stop the plant from modifying whatever it likes. So, when it comes as a question, as a 1-mark question in your exam, school exam, and as a NEET MCQ, do not mark rhizome if sucker is given. Are we clear? If it is not given, the second modification is rhizome. And that too a vertical rhizome. I told you rhizome grows horizontally. Banana is a vertical rhizome, also called as rootstock, if I'm very precise. So, these kinds of confusions, I don't want you to be going and opening different textbooks just to confirm your answer. Wherever there's a confusion, it's better to write in the class and refer to a single source. Help yourself. We good? So banana is a rhizome in case sucker is not given in the choice. And some extra information, it's a vertical rhizome. Third modification, we have finished 2 modifications. Are we good? Are we understanding? Very important for your exam. The third modification happens in the aerial stem. And like some of you were telling me that, the stem will get modified to provide extra support to the plant, तो वो बात सच है. Even if it was a guess, ये बात सच है. You saw that in adventitious roots also. That roots were getting modified to support the plant. climbing roots, prop roots, right? तो stem में भी the structure called as tendril. It's a coiled structure, very narrow. Like if you cook Maggie, the cooked Maggie, how coiled and we like the noodles. Yeah, it is just like that. And tendrils will be seen in plants with weak stems. It has happened so many times that whenever I'm teaching stem tendrils, students will say money plant because you see it in every house. No. Money plant we did in the last class. It's a root modification. Yeah, pothos. So stem tendril kahan par honge? Stem tendril will be present in Cucurbidaceae family. The family you don't like eating. Pumpkin और उसके भाई बहन. Yeah? Then watermelon, cucumber, Loki. All these are members of the same family, brothers and sisters. That's how I've learned it. Do anything to learn the examples. Very important, very much in syllabus. Don't think ma'am is telling us anything extra. Cucurbits and grapevine. Vitis vinifera. Now, according to the NEET pattern, you can leave the scientific name of grapevine. If you can, you can. You should. When I gave my exam, my goodness, they wouldn't ask questions from common names. It was very, very difficult. And the examples would come out of the textbook, but you guys don't have to worry. Okay, so remember cucurbits, and I'm adding one more, grapevine. Please write it down. We'll see stem tendrils which will coil around the support and help the plant to climb. Now, do we have to remember the purpose of modification, ma'am? Oh yes, you have to. The examiner would want you to know the concept. They're actually checking who have not just completed the syllabus or attended a lot of classes or written a lot of notes, but who has not mugged up but understood the concept. That's what I want you to do. The next modification is thorn. These are the pointed, sharp structures. They can be straight or curved. The purpose is an extremely important question. The purpose of thorns, don't say it is to reduce transpiration. That's not the primary purpose. First of all, thorn and spine are different. Please, let's make it clear today. Thorn has stem ki modification, and it is to protect the plant from grazing. From grazing. The next question, where does it develop from? You will always see thorn from the axil of the leaf. Now this is an advanced level. It's a rank booster question, mind you. What is the origin of thorns? It's not the main aerial stem. अब आपने question पढ़ा, what is the modification? What structure is gets modified in thorn? And you're like, अरे ये तो easy question है. I'll just tick stem. और वो choice में है ही नहीं. It's not there. Happens. So precision is very important. It is the axillary bud. To be very precise. Because when I say stem, it gives me a message that the main stem is getting modified. That's not happening. It will be axillary bud. Now, these are the points which you miss when you just refer 3, 4, 5 books and you just go on completing the syllabus, not knowing actually what the examiner is looking for. Axillary bud gets modified into thorn, and it is a modification of stem. Yes, stem की transpiration बहुत कम होती है. Okay, so to some extent, yes, it reduces transpiration. Classic examples are the beautiful plants which have to be protected from animals. Bougainvillea, if you've seen bougainvillea plant, I have it in my house. It's a beautiful plant. You look at the flower, you look at the leaves. Bougainvillea and citrus plants. When I say citrus plants, उसमें सब आ जाता है. Orange आ जाता है, lemon आ जाता है. So if it is asked lemon, don't think ये तो मैम ने बताया ही नहीं. Okay, common sense. Okay. Now, the third kind of aerial modification is my favorite. Why is it my favorite? Because it is examiner's favorite. As simple as that. Cactus is a very... you study a lot of botany when it comes to cactus, and you'll realize this as you go on studying photosynthesis, modifications and whatnot. Because cactus is growing in absolutely adverse conditions. Cactus कहाँ पर grow करता है? Desert में. Where the conditions are xerophytic. Xeros is dry. Okay, so this plant has to do a lot of modifications, physiologically, morphologically. पहली modification. अगर cactus में leaves की तरह रहेंगे, the plant will die. Because maximum transpiration of water loss happens from the leaf. क्यों? Because leaf performs photosynthesis. And for photosynthesis, it has to undergo gaseous exchange. Carbon dioxide, oxygen, gaseous exchange, itna malum hai, yeah? While doing that gaseous exchange through pores called stomata, I hope everybody is aware of what I'm talking about. When I say stomata, transpiration of water loss also happens. In order to reduce that, leaves are modified into spines, not thorns, spines. दिखने में same है, but the origin is different. Now, the function of leaves, which is photosynthesis, making food, storing food, is performed by enlarged, flattened green stems called phylloclade. Phylloclade or phylloclade, however, phyllo word means leaf-like. Phyllotaxy, if somebody is aware of. The phyllo word itself is for leaf. So it has, the stem is now performing the function. अगर आप cactus को काटोगे, you will get that sticky substance oozing out, mucilage-like. That is the stored sap, the stored mucilage. Now it is, इसका भी एक advanced level question which often goes for negative marking is the examiner will ask which is the flattened phylloclade. That is Opuntia. Flattened phylloclade is Opuntia. But in Euphorbia, could we write this? In Euphorbia, it is cylindrical. It becomes like a cylindrical structure. It is not flattened. The purpose is the same. Example is Euphorbia, and I'm writing it cylindrical. And when they ask Opuntia, it will be flattened phylloclade. This is very much in your syllabus. I'm not telling you anything extra, but it goes wrong for most of the time. Good. Now, there's something extra that I want to tell you. Can I tell you one more modification of aerial stem which is extra? Are you ready to do that? Or should we just stick to, then we are done with phylloclade? Because this much is given in your textbook if I talk about NCERT. But there's something extra which according to me is very important. Would you like to do that? One more extra modification. Very similar to phylloclade. And that is cladode. The function is similar. The leaves are reduced to spines and somebody has to perform the function of photosynthesis. Cladode and phylloclade are different in two major ways. In phylloclade, the entire stem gets modified. But in cladode, branches of the stem, isko likh le, branches of the stem get modified. And it is only 1 internode length. Yani ki, this modification will not be found in plants which are living in absolutely xerophytic conditions. It is sort of partial xerophytic condition. Okay, so if it is the main stem, usko kuch nahi hoga. But the branch of the stem will become flattened and expanded to perform the function of photosynthesis. 1 internode length, तो ये एक छोटा phylloclade है. Confusing? Are we good? Examples. Just the examples which are important for you. Not going to trouble you. It is asparagus and ruscus. Asparagus and ruscus. Easy? Now, red color is not visible. ठीक है, will not use red now. Because अभी ज़रूरत भी नहीं है. We are going to solve one of my favorite questions. Your neat paper has a set pattern. Okay? And so many students ask us, ma'am, कैसे questions आएंगे? क्या करना है? How to save time? Well, the set pattern is that you will definitely get certain questions where you have to match the two columns. And to me, these are the most scoring questions. Yeah? So let's do this question. I would like to give you just 45 seconds for this question and I will see who can do it correctly. 45 seconds is a lot of time because you're just beginning the preparation. Later on, I will cut it down to 30 seconds. It's an amazing question. Everything you studied today is in this question. Come on, people. Write down your answers. I'll check. Try not to cheat. Take your time and remember, accuracy is as important, more important than speed in NEET exam, if I have to put it. आपने कितना भी जल्दी अगर किया, but कितना भी जल्दी solve कर दिए questions, but if you have done them inaccurately, it'll all go for negative marking, all into the bin. So far I have C and D. I'll also solve with you. Let's see. I don't know what is the correct answer. People are answering D, so it could be D. I don't know. It's an amazing question. Okay, more towards the D. Ashish, what are you doing here? If you're thinking you will mark 2 answers in the OMR sheet, well, try it. And then try it next time too. Definitely Aditya, Hindi में बात करेंगे. But examples are of underground STEM is in English, my dear. English में ही है. Any more answers for this question? Choose the examples. Wow, example based question. जिस चीज से आपको सबसे ज्यादा डर लगता है, example based questions. Okay, let's solve it. I'll solve it. So, underground STEM, I know there are only 4 categories of underground STEM and I begin to look for them. The first one I come across, I'm just solving a question like you would. It is euphorbia. I know euphorbia में तो phylloclade होता है. Opuntia, I know it is again phylloclade. My God, 2 examples. Potato. As soon as potato comes, yes, I'm going to match it with potato. जब ये हुआ, when I've matched the first option itself, this is why match the column are my favorite questions, I can easily eliminate A and B options. The task of elimination, the gift of elimination works very well in these questions. Yeah, but example based question, either you know or you don't know. No guesswork, please. उसके बाद आया stem tendril. And then I think about, okay, maybe I should look for cucurbitaceae and grapevine. So, cucumber, there it is. So, B matches with 5. And I look at my options and you were right. Most of you were right. People who are answering C, it is wrong, bacha, because B will, stem tendril will mark with cucurbitaceae family, which is cucumber. Then, let's look at other options. Although we got the answer, stem thorn, I will look for citizen bougainvillea and C marks with 4, there it goes. Flattened stem and fleshy cylindrical stem, the 2 keywords are right in front of you. So flattened stem, ma'am ne bataya tha, Opuntia, so D goes for 2, and fleshy cylindrical stem is a feature of your euphorbia. The word cylindrical came. is how I got my answer. Just now, today. Beta, important, Aditya, important questions will remain important. Important concepts will remain important चाहे किसी भी exam में बैठो. Just the label of the exam changes. If you are thinking exact यही questions दे देंगे, then that won't happen. But the concept will remain the same. So once again, you studied tuber is an underground modification. Potato कैसे grow करता है? This is the aerial stem. It grows into the ground. It is an underground modification, gives many branches, and the terminal end of the branches become aloo. Simple. And one question, my favorite question from potato, is the presence of eyes, which represent the axillary buds. Revising again, we have stem tendril. Found in plants with weak stems. Classic examples are cucurbits, cucumber, watermelon, pumpkin, yeah, and grapevines. Okay, so they are highly coiled, narrow structures which help the plant to climb. Then we talked about thorns. Thorns are precisely the modifications of axillary bud. Okay, and they are mainly for the protection and to ease out transpiration. Classic example is citrus and bougainvillea. Good till here. Then we discussed phylloclade and दो variations हैं phylloclade की. This is a very precise concept which people often miss. Phylloclade is a flattened stem in case of opuntia and cylindrical stem in case of euphorbia. और एक थोड़ा सा extra example जो मैंने आपको बताया, that is cladode. Okay, now, so I think this is it for today. We got our answer as the correct answer D, and I also told you how you can save a lot of time when you attempt questions like match the following. So this would be it for today's class. I will see you in the next class. Please revise these topics. Let us know if you have any doubts. Please write your doubts in the comment section. I go through all the comments. I'll answer your doubts. And I'll see you in the next class with the structure of leaf and leaf modifications. Thank you. A very good evening.